Coach, from one DC to another, one defense coordinator to another. What makes, obviously as Chief fans, we love Spags. We think Spags is the best thing ever. But from when you watch Spags, what makes him stand out specifically to you as a defensive coordinator, watching him draw up game plans and just seeing how things play out for the Chiefs defense?
Well, the thing about, I think, any good coordinator, he has to know his players and his talent. You know, what is he working with? He's got to understand that and know what they can do. All right. So now you can place them where you need to place them to give yourself the best advantage. The other thing that he has to do is he has to know the opponent. He has to put in the time, all right, to know the opponent, down and distance tendencies. Okay. The offensive players, who do we need to stop? Who do they have that we need to stop? Because every team has guys that their go-to guys. Right. So how do we take away their go-to guys and make them go somewhere else? And generally, because they're going to go to the go-to guys, or try to anyway. And if you can take a go-to guy away and make them go to another guy that they don't usually go to, then your chances of being successful on that play are better. So I think he does a good job of knowing those things and then coming up with a scheme that he needs to come up with to call the plays by situation, by field position, by down and distance. He has to know all of those things. And when you have the experience and you've done it, it becomes a little bit easier. All right. But the work doesn't become easier. Calling the play in the right time becomes a little bit easier.
Okay. And I wonder, kind of with that, that you were saying, like getting those guys developed and getting them to understand the scheme, right? Like you said, it becomes easier for the coach, right, to put things together, but still it takes that time that you had to put into the player, the young player, to invest in them, to convey, and for them also to retain the information that you're giving them. Right. So if you have a guy that's having a hard time, remember those things. What do you do? How do you get them up to speed, Coach? What do you
I'm going to tell you this one incident. Sante Samuel.
Oh, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm.
When he came to us, he was, a pretty good corner coming out. And so what we talked to him about we wanted to do is we wanted him to play inside technique so that we could take away the inside route and make them throw the ball outside. All right. Mm-hmm. He had a little issue with doing that. And so in talking with him, he said, Coach, I can't see the quarterback. I said, well, look, we're trying to play this technique because we want to protect the post. And if you can take away the inside release, they're not running the post. Okay. He said, but if I could see the quarterback, I could help you more. And he was pretty adamant about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I said, look, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'll let you play outside technique. But if you get bit on the post, then you're going to go back and play inside technique. Well, he started playing outside technique, and he started intercepting the balls that they were throwing inside to try to get to the post. Okay. Yeah. And so I said, hey, as long as we can keep that done, that'll work. And so he became, not that he wasn't a good corner, but he became a better corner because he started making plays on the ball because he could see the quarterback. Now, there would be some guys who wouldn't even think about letting him work on that or try that, okay, because they are set in stone. But I've got a guy who's got some ability, and he's saying, I can't see the quarterback. I need to be able to see the quarterback. And so let's try it. We didn't write it in stone that it was going to be that way all the time. Let's try it. So we tried it, and he became a pretty good corner, intercepting balls and all of those things. And so that's what you have to do when we talk about knowing your players.
Yes.
Know your players. And sometimes you might not know them right away, You might have to get to know them, but you get to know them by talking to them, listening to them, all right, and then seeing how they play.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, this is something that, like, not every day you get to talk to somebody who's won at the highest level multiple times, multiple championships, and being part of the Patriots dynasty like you were. There's something that a lot of people don't talk about as much when they talk about the Chiefs, dynasty, is the fact that having coaching continuity, right? So you were there 01, 03, 04, and then you went to Cleveland, and then it was no coincidence, right? When you and Charlie Weiss leave, there's a bad decade break between between the Patriots winning their next Super Bowl. And with the Chiefs, every year it's like you think Spagnuolo is going to get a job. He doesn't. He sticks around as the DC. We went from Bieniemy to we went from Nagy to Bieniemy back to Nagy, and it's the continuity there as far as the coaching staff. Obviously, Mahomes is still there, Kelsey's still there, Jones is still there, but the coaches, having those guys back again year after year, how much of an advantage is that for Kansas City to have that coaching continuity?
It's the same advantage when you have a veteran team that plays together and know how to win, where you got a coaching staff who knows how to win, knows how to coach, knows how to get the best out of them, knows how to develop the culture, particularly with the young guys coming in and indoctrinate them into the culture. So that continuity helps. It really does.
So you telling us that all of us sitting back here as fans and as former players, when we talk our talking heads, we don't know more than the coaches, and we don't know more than them?
No, you don't. because first of all, you're not spending all of those hours in the office that the coach does, all right, looking at tape, making notes, all right, drawing up plays. You're not doing all of that, all right? You're at home playing with mama and the kids.
Right. Yeah, I tell it all the time. I said, look, I give a perspective on it. I said, as a talking head, look, the coach is going to do what they want. And they've had the cachet. They've put all the work in. They know exactly what they need to do. Like you said, the culture, and it's a standard. And there's a certain standard that certain coaches have, right? Andy does a great job. Spags does a great job. And like Marcus was saying, it is continuity. But it's a culture, and you bring guys in that fit that culture, right? That's what you need to do.
Sure,
right?
you try to do that. You try to get guys that fit that culture. All right. The only thing that's kind of screws that up a little bit is talent. Okay. Because sometimes you bring a talent in that sometimes the talent think he already has all the answers. Okay. And it's harder to get him to follow what you want. All right. And so then that becomes problematic.
Yeah.
All right. But if you got the culture guys, and if they have talent, you're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. Man.
You'll be pretty good. I mean, hey, look, all along, as long as I've been in the business, they say good players make good coaches.
That's right.
Good players make good coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as a coach, you try to develop as many good players as you can. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.